One of the largest music communities in Nigeria put out another installment of their Lofin series, Lofin 4. What's good, beautiful people? It's your boy Emmanuel. Welcome back again. If you're new to the channel, go by the name of Emmanuel, aka Palmer Papi. I review everything from Afrobeats, Afropop, Nigerian music in general. So definitely lock in and subscribe. Alright. Today's video is a very interesting one I've been looking forward to getting the chance to record. Now this is a very unique review because I have a bit more context than I usually do for most albums that I review. Okay, now this album is put together by the We Talk Sound community, which I am very familiar with. I'm one of the regular faces in their clubhouse room, and I got a bit more context to the journey as to how they're putting together this particular album. Now, to give more background to We Talk Sound is one of the, if not the largest music community, and every Valentine's Day since 2018 they've been putting out a compilation of love songs titled Lofin. So I caught wind of the series last year when they released Lofin 3, where I found amazing talents like Midgey's The One, Veda. Before I used to think Lofin was like an abbreviation for something like, say, Love on First Night or something, but it's actually a Norse mythology for the goddess of forbidden love. The whole premise of the album series is to platform emerging artists that are still growing and finding their audience, and it's a good way to let people know about them. On this particular album series, by far it's without a doubt, like, I think it's normal consensus now that this is definitely the best out of the series. This is definitely much more refined artists, much more refined music in general. Now the process in this time was, I think they had to filter through over 100 songs and have a team of about 20 people look through the songs and going back and forth and compiling the last 14 that ended up being on the album. Now when it comes to a compilation album like this with such a wide variety of artists, genres, music styles, deliveries, perspectives, it makes for an interesting experience overall. And the catch for this, especially with the process that they had, they didn't have a physical production camp for everyone to be able to make music. None of the songs were made with the intention of another song, so it was very completely all independent songs put together that were not made in the, some were made in the mind of the album, some were just made independently as a release, as a song. And as the variety comes in the good things of the album, there's also variety in a bad sense, because you're getting different levels of production quality, you're getting different levels of engineering as well. So it's one of the catches that the album would have to take a hit for. But nonetheless, it made for a beautiful experience in terms of portraying love in different perspectives. The album is essentially a collective of individual love stories, as opposed to one giant story from a singular perspective. So it only feels right that the album sequence will prioritize the sonic experience rather than the storytelling. Hence why the album kind of opens up with a very heavenly cinematic kind of gesture with the first track, Busy by Tiwa Dara and Naya Akanji. Amazing beautiful record. It was one of the first introductions to the album just through the snippets and the rollout on Instagram, and you can somehow see how the ambience and setting of this production kind of even influenced the album art. Now the overarching style or genre of this album kind of leaned towards R&B and soul. A lot of the songs were centered in just like the name says, forbidden love. Very raunchy lyrics that turn up the temperature of the room. Busy was one of them that really entered the album with that kind of intention and made it clear where the direction of this album was going. Too many sexual innuendos here. It was just, yeah, they really went in for it this time, man. Next song is Love You Now by Desire, and this is one of the cleanest, well produced, well mixed, and well engineered songs. The singer as well has this very Zayn Malik kind of inspiration behind him, which ends up being a pure declaration of love. And then followed by Lycam, which was an Afro-pop, Afrobeat like introduction here. I think this was one of the few songs that really centered on an Afro-pop kind of sound. It's by two artists that I'm really excited about, New Baby and KVY. Next up on the experience was Number by 80am and Kidder X. and it wasn't really that exciting. This was a song that again really centered about approaching someone, about love, but sonically speaking, it was a little too cookie cutter for me. There wasn't really a strong sense of love behind it. It just felt like it just felt very bland and not, just missing a lot of charisma on the delivery. The production as well felt kind of weak and didn't really portray a setting that would get me excited about the song. It didn't really introduce the song well. Yeah, the song wasn't really all the way there for me, but it definitely served its purpose in introducing me to the artist. And it's nothing against the vocal ability of the artist. I think he's an amazing singer. I just felt the atmosphere, the setting, the melody of the song, not any of that wasn't really catching me and making me excited about the song. So, and then fast forward to Soweto by an artist that dropped really one of the slept on albums last year, Kemena. And Soweto ends up being a very captivating song. The beat is hard hitting, it wakes you up. Very hard punching production that gets you excited once the song rolls in. Kemena's delivery here, the lyricism as well, very clever lines. The lamba on this one, the charisma, the attitude, really brought out and showcased his talent of songwriting and personality. Like you could feel some sense of personality from this song alone, and it's very good and commendable to do that because you want to show a piece of yourself, and a compilation album that has different artists with you. And I think Kemena was one of those artists that really brought out a personality. Just overall a brilliant song. Now Toxic by Brahms, The Pedestrian, was a very interesting moment of the album. It had this very trap soul kind of element to it. The melodic rapping all over the song, the amazing runs, strong verses that help tell the story of toxicity that you're trying to get away from. And it was an amazing point of view to look at. This was not all lovey-dovey. This was very like, okay, this person is toxic, and it kind of brought a new perspective into the album listening, and it was very interesting nonetheless. Now the next song, Love Me Loud by Vivienne, was very interesting because this song got me thinking immediately. The first name that pops up to you was Beyonce, and imagine you being compared to Beyonce. It has to say something, man. The amazing delivery on this, the attitude, the personality, the level of confidence behind the singing is out of this world. She felt very comfortable, especially in the moments where the song was going to get difficult, where she had to hit lower notes. You can definitely see how well accomplished this person is as a vocalist, and it was a flex. It was a whole flex. Love Me Now was definitely a good moment in the album. Next up we had Lale, which was an interlude by Andre Music. The song starts with very soft keys that make you think it's like gonna be one like soft ballad. Out of nowhere we hear trap beats coming in and it feels like a whole vibe. It was very tasteful to be left at 1 minute 22 seconds. I wasn't mad at the song at all. Next up we had Trouble by Case Keys and Mo Believe. Mo Believe is an artist that I've always revered, man. I respected the guy's pen game, and this guy's level of Yoruba is not here. But nonetheless, this was a different angle of Mo Believe. I've always seen him like his Big Daddy Mo, where he had this like sugar daddy kind of energy. But on this song, he had a different approach here. He came on with a song that talked about staying away from trouble. It kind of like ties into the toxic message as well from Brahms. On this song, he's saying, "Me or Malaya, I care about Jess, so don't bring trouble to me." It's like saying, I don't like too much wahala, don't bring in here me. It was a very well paced down juju kind of sound that we're getting here. I love the energy that it brought to the album. Don't Waste My Time by Isego. It was a very interesting moment on this one. Yet another short and sweet record that I felt, okay, maybe this one can there's some story here, there's something to build upon. The production on this definitely made itself known. The outro was very well done. The song comes from a perspective of a woman catching a guy messing with another woman, and she's basically calling it quits on this one. It had this very Pan-African energy to it, down to her vocal delivery and the production as well. Like it was made for an interesting tale on the album, which leads me to a great moment, a great highlight on this album nonetheless. This was a spoken word song, "Oh for Orgasm" by Bumi Africa. It was backed up by very soft keys and almost felt like it was painting, like the production alone painted the picture in your head, and down to a spoken word and how her words were just building up to the very last moment. and it's like, yeah, you definitely get the picture here. And it definitely set the moment and set the pace for the next song that was going to follow up with it, Fallen by Omotayo. Now this particular song, this song, leading up from O for Orgasm, like the build up from O for Orgasm was intense and very aggressive, in your face, let you know what they're about, like it's in the name, it's in the intention here. And then how that eases into a song that was definitely very raunchy, made for the bedroom. Like this was one of the most intentional settings on this album that was made for that raunchy energy that the album kind of captures, you know. And Fallen is a beautiful, well tucked delivery by Omotayo. Hey, come on. Yeah, oh my god. Hey, oh my god. Yo, this song get you in trouble, man. From this song you could tell he was a very seasoned vocalist. The harmonies were very well matched. The heart thumping production kind of like makes you it keeps you in the moment. The pace of the song, just the attention to detail in this song in terms of like creating that atmosphere, I think it was very well executed. The song is so sing-alongable. The melody is so strong and punching that it's stuck in your head, man. And you sing, man, the way you're just flowing with the song, it's a very well crafted song. Absolutely, without a doubt, one of my favorites on this one. Very well, one of the most complete songs here, I think. And it's one of those instances that you immediately want to check out the artist and look at their catalog, because the delivery on this one was very well served. Like, it was very well served. Absolutely one of my favorite moments on this album. And it leads us to Ignis Brothers' Lighthouse. And Ignis Brothers are a band consisting of three amazing talented individuals. This song very well captivates their essence. It definitely brought a fresh perspective into the album. It had this very focal kind of alternative delivery on this, and it's a very brilliant writing that connects the function of a lighthouse at the shore of a sea. It kind of helps guide you and creates a path for you in a very dark, cold sea. And you can very well see the symbolism of lighthouse being the need, the necessity for the love of this individual that he's portraying the love for. So it was very brilliant songwriting in that perspective. And it leads me to a badass record, Distraction. This was one of the very straight up hip hop moments on this album. We had a lot of hip hop influences. You can see that from Lale. You can see that from Lale. You can see a little bit of it on Toxic. But over here it was the pure rapper singer moment. The song opens up with an amazing vocalist with a great chorus that opens up and sets up for a very well delivered rap verse by Quizzy, an amazing rapper. A rapper that I am definitely excited to check out more of his work. Not only is he very clever with the lines, but his delivery on this song kind of fits the atmosphere of the beat. Very loungy, very grown and sexy kind of setting. It reminded me of So Into You by Fabulous. That kind of delivery and just chill, laid back kind of approach. The very first line, it says, "This is my citation. I love you like I love more of me. I know you see me less. It's okay for you to want more of me." If you've seen the movie Citation, the main character's name was Moremi. And I love how he played with that word to make it rhyme with more of me. And it's like, so we're getting a bit of wordplay here. Another line that bust my head from the first listen, that I had to like run back to this line, and I couldn't get this line out of my head for a while. Brace yourself, okay? The line goes, "I'm trying to do big like pun, ironic, I'm from a place where they don't get the pun, they only know Millennium B." Bro, let's actually break that down in a quick second. There's so many things to dig up from this, okay? I'm trying to do big like pun. The rapper, Big Pun from South Bronx, right? And it goes, ironic, I'm from a place where they don't get the pun, so they don't get the big pun. Not a lot of Nigerians are privy to who Big Pun is. They only know Millennium B, and if you know that, great. one of Dagreen's biggest hits is Pom Pom Pom. So it's like, bro, there's like, it's so brilliant. How do you come up with stuff like this, man? I was just blown away from this particular line. But that line bust my head, man. And shout out to Quizzy, because definitely got me intrigued that this is the kind of rapper that I would love to pay attention to, man. And it was a very decent way to wrap up the entire album experience. The sonic experience was vibrant enough and very well arranged for it to keep my attention throughout the listen. Shout out to the Week Talk Sound crew for putting together an amazing body of work, and the amazing producers and singer-songwriters on this definitely did well with the platform. And for my favorites, it's very hard to pick a favorite. A lot of songs here definitely got me going back to the album. Like definitely got me going back to the album. Fallen definitely got me going back. Distraction. A lot of songs here made a great impression on me. For my least favorite, I kind of made it obvious. It was Numbers. Not really greatest moment here. And for my final rating for We Talk Sound, Laughing 4, it's a strong 8 out of 10 for me. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section. I've been your boy Emmanuel. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, once again, definitely check out the rest of the content here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.